Hi folks, I'm going to show you what is probably the single most exciting new feature that QuickBooks has added to any of their products in the last several years. This new feature is called Tags. Now, Tags is available only in the online version of QuickBooks, and the good news is it's available in all the QuickBooks online versions, from Simple Start to Essentials to Plus to Advanced. So if you're working with QuickBooks Desktop, Tags is not there, and it's probably not going to be, as this seems to be of more of a QuickBooks Online type of feature. Now, if you don't see tags already enabled in your QuickBooks Online, and the quickest way to check if your tags are enabled is just click on the new button to create a new transaction, and then click on Expense. And then once you look at the expense screen, there should be one big box that says Tags right there under the payee name, the date, all that stuff. So if you don't see that in there, that means Tags is not enabled in your QuickBooks Online file, and you're probably going to have to go back into the home screen and click on the gear menu right here in the top right. Click on that gear menu and then go to where it says QuickBooks Labs. So once you go inside QuickBooks Labs, that's where you can turn on additional features that are sort of in, let's call it, beta test mode. So this feature is kind of a beta test by the time I'm recording this. I'm sure that in the near future, this will just be in all the QuickBooks Online files, and you don't actually have to go into QuickBooks Labs to turn it on. So right here is called Tags, and you just have to make sure you toggle that on and then click on Done. So once you turn on Tags, then you should be able to see tags in your transactions. Now, I'm going to click on the gear menu again, the gear menu on the top right of the screen, and then I'm going to go into the second column under the list column, and then I'm going to go to the very last option called Tags. In there, I get to go into my sort of tag management screen. I can also get the tags by clicking on the banking menu on the left-hand side of the screen, and then on the drop-down menu under banking, rules, receipts, I should see tags right after receipts. So there's two ways to get to the same screen. Now, when you first log into the screen, you're going to see money in and money out, and these are examples. So these are basically just illustrations to get you thinking about what tags are. You actually have to create your tag groups, and you have to create your individual tags inside your tag groups. The way I think of tags is a way to add a dimension of information inside your transactions that you can later on segregate and separate in a report, or you can run specific reports like a profit and loss by that specific tag or tag group. Now, a tag group would be a set of tags, and the tags would be that individual attribute that you will be adding to those transactions. So this gets really complicated to explain, but then once you actually see it work, it becomes very easy. So hang with me. So let's say, for example, I want to track the salesperson to sales that I'm making. Now, QuickBooks doesn't have a default place for you to enter salespeople and select the salesperson in each transaction. Tags would essentially solve this problem. So I'm going to click on the new button on the right-hand side of the screen, a big green new button. Click on that new and then click on tag group. I have to first create the tag group where all the tags are going to be under. Now, for this tag group, I'm just going to call it salesperson. So we're going to track the salespersons on every sale. So I'm going to click on the drop-down menu for the color and give it a color to make it easier for you to identify, right? There's about 16 different colors. So it should be easier as you're looking with tags. You don't have to go read where the tag group is. With the color, you'll know. So let's say our salespeople are going to be red. So we know that all the tags with reds are salespeople. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Save. And that officially creates the tag group or the category. Let's call it that. Then let's create the individual tags, which in this case would be the individual salespeople. So let's say we have John Smith, and then we'll click on Add. And then we have Mary Roberts. We'll click on Add. And then we have Juan Garcia, and then we click on Add. So we got three salespeople: John Smith, Mary Roberts. I wrote reports, but let's just edit that. I really meant Roberts. That's what happens when you think about accounting and reports and things like that all day, where words just start jumbling together. So we got John Smith, Mary Roberts, Juan Garcia. Those are my three tags under the tag group salesperson, which is red to help us identify. So that was kind of the first step. we created that tag. Now, let's say, for example, I want to create tags for expenditures that I make while I'm out of town. Okay, for whatever reason, I wanna know the expenditures I make while I'm out of town versus the ones that I'm in town. Now that maybe they're travel expenses, maybe they're not. It really doesn't matter. Let's say that's something that we want to track. So I'm gonna go to a new tag group, and we're gonna call this expense sourced, something like that. Again, you come up with your own wording. We're gonna use yellow for this one, or orangey yellow, whatever that is. Click on save, and then we're gonna have 3 tags. I'm gonna do it in town, and then I'm gonna do out of town. Okay, and out of town could be let's say within the US. So we can put something like US, and then we'll do out of the country, right? For whatever reason, again, one of the really cool things, and the reason why I made that that statement of this is the most exciting new feature that QuickBooks has done, is because there are no guardrails, there are no limits. They're not, the feature is not meant to be used in a very specific way. It is meant for you to use it however the heck you think you might use it, or it might be useful for you. So it's really exciting, just the concept of what we're about to see in the next couple of months, couple of years, on what people are going to come up with and how they're going to use tags to manage their business better. So I'm going to go ahead and click on done, and there we go. So we got salesperson and expense source. Let's say, for example, that I'm also tracking expenses in the business that are spent by one of the partners, and for whatever reason, at the end of the year, the partners kind of like take a look at the expenses they made, and they make their own arrangements in terms of how to recalculate that. So we're going to go ahead and click on new, and then do a new tag group, and I'm going to put here who spent it. Okay, again, I'm putting a question mark. I'm doing my own thing. Make it blue. That's okay. And then we'll have, in this case, just to simplify, we're going to have partner A, and then we're going to have partner B, and then we're going to have employee. Perfect. So let's say if a regular employee spends the money or uses their credit card or authorizes the expenditure, that would be them. But if it's partner A or partner B, we'll identify that because maybe that has some significance to us at the end of the year. So we'll click on done, and there we go. Very simple. We got 3 tag groups. Each of the tag group has 3 individual tags. That's really all you'll be doing on this screen during the setup process. This is going to evolve. We're going to go back into the screen and do other things as we tag some of the transactions. So I'm just going to go to my profit and loss real quick. Go to profit and loss here. I'm going to run a profit and loss for last month, just so we can kind of see what we have now. And what we have here, these are transactions that have already been entered into QuickBooks. And I'm going to go into them, and I'm going to add tags to them. So then we can start seeing what that looks like when we're all done tagging them. So I'm going to go into, let's say, my office supplies, click on that number. That should take me to a detailed report that shows me all the office supplies. And then I can click on any individual expenditure. Let's go to apple.com here. And then I can add the tags that I want. So let's say, for example, this expenditure was made in town. There's no salespeople because it's an expenditure. So I don't even need to track that. And the person that spent this was an employee. So you're not forced to use all tags. And also you're limited to 1 tag per tag group. So you can leave a tag group unused. And then if you use a tag from any tag group, all the other options go away. I can change it if I want to. See, I can toggle through it, but I can't use more than 1 tag from the same tag group, which makes total sense, by the way. So I like that. So we'll go ahead and click on save and close. And simply that's how you create your tags. Now let me go ahead and create a tag for a sales transaction. So I'm going to go into new and do a new invoice. And let me date this, let's say last month. Okay, and I'll pick one of my customers here. Let's say we got Joe the plumber, one of our customers. I'll pick product or service. Let's say we're going to do, let's see, some service here. And this is going to be 80 times 75, $6,000. And then we'll click on the tags here, and we'll assign this sale to John Smith. Okay. And I don't need to use the other tags. You're not forced to use tags in any situation, actually. So I'll click on save here, and then I'll do a save and new, just so I can create sort of multiple transactions, so we can kind of see what that looks like on the report. So I'll pick a different customer here. I'll pick a different item. Let's say this is $4,500. And let's say this is going to be Juan Garcia. And then click on Save and New. So as you can tell, I'm creating multiple invoices, all pretty much in the same month, different customers and different products in this case. And I'm using a different, in this case, let's put this 1200, a different salesperson per se, so we can see our reports per salesperson. So I'll do Save and New. I'll do one more just so we can have one more in the can here. I'll pick customer B. We'll pick an item here. Let's make this 540, and we'll make this one John Smith's sale. So I'll click on Save, and that's it. So we've done enough tagging so we can know kind of what's going on. So let's go back into the gear menu on the top right, and then click on tags on that list column, that second column, and then kind of see what's going on here. Notice that now that I'm going into this report, there's already some transactions in there. You already start seeing kind of what's going on. So notice that on the left hand side, we got our money in tags. We can choose what date range. Let's say I only want to see last month. And then we can click here where it says who spent it, and we can choose which of the tag groups per se we want to track. So I'm going to click on salesperson, and there we go. There I got my sales per salesperson for that last month. Look how great this is, how easy it is to follow. We go on the right hand side where it says money out. I can also pick my date range. Let's do last month, and then I can switch across expense sourced, right? And who spent it, right? Let me tag a couple of more expenditures so this report starts looking a little bit more rich per se, much more information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm going to click on any of the tags that are already in place. So let's click on here. It says salesperson, and then I'll click on any of these links that say one transaction, two transaction, whatever it says. Click on that, and that's going to take me to a completely different screen, which is like a transactions by tag screen. In the transactions by tag screen, I can see all the transactions and the tags that it has. If I click on the current tags filter, and I click on reset filters and click on apply, then I'm going to see all the transactions that have tags and don't have tags. Here in the date range, I can go into the filter, and let's say I'm going to be, again, focused on just last month. So we'll do here last month and click on apply. So there's all my transactions for last month. And let's say on the filters, I'm going to go to type, and then I'm going to go to money out. So it's focused only on money out transactions. So there we go. Here's all the transactions that I have from last month. Notice that a whole bunch of them don't have tags, and just one of them has a tag. Now what's cool about this screen is I can click on the transaction. It will open the transaction itself. This is Uber Eats. This is $17. I'll make a decision, right? Let's say this was out of town inside the US, and this was spent by partner A. And then I click on save and close. So I can click on the individual transaction and tag it, or I can do some batch tagging from here. So let's say that if I actually had the vendor name in here, so it'll be a lot easier to see. Unfortunately, because I didn't enter the vendor name on it, it makes it very difficult to tag. So for example, in this case, I'm going to actually create the vendor. And this is one of the reasons why I strongly feel that you should always have a payee or a vendor in a transaction, so you can do reclassifications much easier. And I got a special video called how to use QuickBooks wrongly, or the wrong way to use QuickBooks, where I specifically show how people end up doing this error, not putting a payee. I'll put a link to the description, in the description to that video if you want to check it out. Anyway, if you had visibility to all those vendors, you should be able to tag things fairly quickly from here. Let's just make the assumption that we know contextually based on the dollar amount who spent the money, and we're going to click on multiple transactions. So let me click back here. So we're going to click on multiple transactions, the ones that we know for a fact what the tags should be. We'll click on the drop down menu where it says update tags. I can click on add tags. And after you click on add tags, you just click on that drop down menu. Select the tags that you want to tag all those transactions sort of the same way. So they say this is all in town and this is all partner A. And then I click on apply, and then I go back and select some other transactions. Again, if I had the payee there, that would be a lot easier contextually, but usually with the date, the amount of the pay, you will know. You select all the transactions that you want to massively tag, click on add tag, and again, we're going to make this partner B, and let's make all these out of town, and then we'll just kind of play with these and only show. Here it says tags. I can filter out and only show specific ones if I only want to show specific ones, or in this case, it's basically showing all of them, right? So I'm gonna just pick a couple more here, okay, and then click on update tags, add tags, and then we'll make this in town, and we'll make this employee, and click on apply, and then we'll do a couple more here. Let's select these two, update tags. Let's do partner A, and let's do in town, and click on apply. Perfect. So not all the transactions are tagged, of course. There's a lot of things that are untagged in this case, but I gave you an idea more or less how you can sort of massively tag transactions if you want to. I can go back and click on all tags. It takes me to my main tagging screen. Notice that we got a lot more information in here. We got all the expenses by who spent it. I can click on that drop-down menu and click on expense source, and then I can see where all the expenses are being made. Again, how you use tags is going to be very custom, very specific to your business. As a consultant, as a business consultant, this is probably the biggest opportunity that myself and my team have to help people choose their tag groups, choose their tags, and teach them how to, kind of build the discipline to tag transactions so they can run reports like this really quickly and be able to make essential business decisions based on that. And I'm going to scroll down a little bit and then show you this action button here. There's an action button that says run report. So if I go to who spent it and I click on run report, it will now take me to a screen that can run a report by transaction tag. So I'm going to switch this to last month. Let's go to last month. Where is last month? Should be here somewhere, of course, last month. And we'll see all the expenses by tag. Notice that I can minimize or collapse each of these. So as I collapse them, notice that then there's no information being displayed here. I can open just employee if I want to. All my expenses spent by an employee. Here I can open partner A. All my expenses spent by partner A. Let's say I want to change the general grouping that I'm using. I can click on the customize report and change the who spent it tag group to maybe the salesperson, and then click on run report. Now I have an entirely different report. I have all my sales by salesperson. You can also get to these tag-based reports by clicking on the reports tab on the left-hand side, and then on the reports, and then under find report name, just type tag, and you're going to see profit and loss by tag and transaction list by tag, which is the one we just saw. Let's check out profit and loss by tag, and let's do again last month because we were focused on transactions just for last month. And let's do in this case another tag here. Let's go to customize report, and then under columns we'll pick salesperson, and then click on run report. So now I'm going to have a profit and loss by salesperson based on those tags. I can click on customize the button again. I can click on that drop down menu and do it by who spent it. Click on run report. Then there's all my expenditures based on who spent the money, and then I can click on customize report, and I can change that to my other tag, which is expense source, and then click on run report. And there we go. Now, the one thing that you may have noticed is there's an option here called untagged groups. Untagged groups is when you have tags that don't belong to a group. So let me show you how that will work. Let me keep this report up here and go back into my tags screen. So I'm going to go back into tags. And then let's say I'm going to create some tags that don't have a group. So I'm going to click on new and click on tag. And I'm going to call this business, save. And then I'm going to create another tag called, just a tag called personal. And notice that I didn't give these any group. And that's possible too. You're not forced to create groupings and limited groupings of those tags. Ungroup tags work slightly different. For example, I'm going to pull up one of these transactions that I opened up recently, and under the tag section, I can actually select both business and personal in this case. So when you do untagged groups, then you're not forced to only use one tag from that tag group. They're basically loose and you can use them in any way, shape, or form that you want. So I'm going to click on Save and Close here. I'll pick another transaction just so we can illustrate the example. And we'll call this one Personal. And then go back to Save and Close. I'm going to go back to the previous report, which is a profit and loss report by tag group. Click on Customize and select Ungroup Tags and click on Run Report. And then you can see where this profit and loss is only focused on those ungrouped tags. One little strange, quirky thing about this, which I think is worth mentioning, is let's say, for example, I open up this 2098 transaction and I'm going to open it up and then I'm going to give it both tags. In this case, I'm going to give it both business and the personal tag and then click on Save and Close. And then I'm going to go backwards on my reporting. Notice that now the transaction shows in both sides. So it's really up to you. This is why I like the tag groups, because I'm protected to make sure that my transactions won't get duplicated. But when you use ungrouped tags, you always run that risk that you can inadvertently duplicate the transactions in your report. It doesn't duplicate it in your overall profit and loss. That's only one transaction, but specifically on the profit and loss by ungrouped tags, you run into this potential situation. And the last thing I'll mention here is I'm going to go into banking and just look at the transactions that were downloaded from the bank and then show you how tags interact with your bank feeds, with your downloads. So for example, here's State Farm. Let's say I'm going to do this correctly and put my payee, create my State Farm payee and do the right category, insurance, whatever it happens to be, auto insurance. Then there's the tags button, and then I can pick how I want to tag this. So let's say this is in town, and then this is John's, actually no salesperson. This is an employee expenditure. It is business, and there you go. So you can interact with those tags in most transactions and in bank feeds as well. Woo! That was a lot of content for one video. I know. I'm very excited about tags, and this is just the first iteration of it. I think that we're going to be blown away with potentially what could be coming with tags. So if you like this video, make sure you hit like. That's a really important thing. Subscribe to the channel. We're just hitting 100,000 subscribers and going for 1 million subscribers. So if you want to learn more about QuickBooks accounting, saving money on your taxes, and general business advice, you want to subscribe to my channel, hit that bell so you get notified when great new content like this comes out. And hopefully this was helpful for you. Hopefully I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.